We just heard there from Denise Smart, Kristin's mom, and her father,
Our
Stan
hearts and
Smart.
prayers continue to be with Kristin's loving family, Stan and Denise. We are grateful to have had your support and your trust to serve you in bringing justice for Kristin. Also with me today, I have the rest of Kristin Smart's family. Her brother Matt and her sister Lindsay and their spouses are here. San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Ian Parkinson is here to my right, and our prosecution team is led by Deputy District Attorney Christopher Prevrell, Assistant Chief Investigator J.T. Camp, San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Senior Detective Clint Cole, and Assistant District Attorney Eric Dobroth. We are very grateful to Sheriff Ian Parkinson. Since he was elected and sworn into office in January of 2011, he had a renewed commitment and prioritization of solving Kristin Smart's murder. And we are grateful for every detective, every Sheriff's Office personnel who spent years on this case to bring us to where we are today. The Sheriff's Office has demonstrated incredible resolve as they have led this incredible and complicated investigation. Their tireless search for sufficient evidence is what has brought us to this point today, where we have finally achieved justice for Kristin in our community. Sheriff Parkinson.
You know, I want to begin just to bring up the most important people in this room, and that is the Smart family. So I had the honor of meeting them in 2019 prior to taking office for the very first time, and we discussed their daughter, Kristin. And I was around in the county in law enforcement at the time Kristin disappeared, and I could only imagine what they had gone through. They were still extremely committed and really faithful, or had faith that we would get to the bottom of this and bring those responsible. And they maintained that throughout my tenure in this position. You know, we talk about justice and closure. The reality is there is some form of justice today, holding the person responsible. However, that doesn't change the fact that their daughter at 19 disappeared and was murdered. And they don't have the opportunity to see her graduate from Cal Poly, be married, have grandchildren for them. So every year that goes by, they continue to suffer for this loss. I committed to them before, and I remain committed that even though Paul was convicted today, this case is not over. This case will not be over until Kristin is returned home. And we have committed to that from the beginning, and I remain committed to that fact that we don't take a breath, we do not put this aside, we continue to pursue this until we bring Kristin home to the family. And that I remain committed to. I would also like to thank the jury. 3 months is a very long time to be on a jury. The commitment for them, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine the commitment from the investigative team. 3 months away from their home, away from their families, up here working tirelessly every week, lucky to go home on weekends. I just admire them. But the jury has a job, and they did that job today, and I think it's really important. I'd also like to thank Monterey County. This is a San Luis case, obviously, and was transferred to Monterey County. The court system, the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office has been phenomenal for all of us, and they deserve a big thank you. The district attorney mentioned about the investigative team. I would like to thank our district attorney for moving forward with the courage to prosecute a complicated case. This was not a simple case. 26 years had passed. And I commend the DA for moving forward with this. Chris Preble, our all-star, truly is a phenomenal attorney and a phenomenal human being, and really led this case through the court system and deserves a tremendous amount of credit. J.T. Camp, a DA investigator, by the way, used to work for the Sheriff's Office. Phenomenal job working this case as well, hand in hand with Chris. I have actually two investigators that worked that case, or worked this case here. Chief Deputy Nate Paul in the back of the room worked this case before Detective Cole and did a great job. And then, of course, there's Detective Cole, who took this case and worked his tail off to develop and identify evidence in this case that ultimately brought it to trial, and deserves the credit for his hard work. I'm a little biased, but I have a phenomenal investigative team, and Clint is part of that team. And then last to Eric Drobroth, of course, the DA's assistant, who has been involved in this for several years now and has been extremely supportive and willing to help us. I would just like to close and say that I appreciate all the community support. What this does for the community has been tremendous. The ability to have some form of justice to them is really second to the family. They have been living this for 26 years themselves. Some have far left the area years before and now have still followed it and still support the Smart family. And so this is justice for them, for them to understand that the conviction means a tremendous amount. So thank you for being here.